I honestly have convinced myself that I'm not designed to lose. I believe that if I study my opponent, I give these guys the utmost respect and attention they deserve. I don't think that I was designed to lose to any person.
You gotta have confidence in yourself. So even if collegiately he had a better career than me, I'm gonna believe that I'm gonna be better than him. It's the power of the mind, and I believe that I'm gonna stuff his takedowns. And if he does take me down, I believe that I'll be amazing on my back. It's just gotta think for the best and train for the worst.
What do you think the sport's gonna be? When UFC 200 rolls around, and where do you think you're gonna be 9 years from now, 10 years from now?
I'm hoping to be a champion.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to be a champion. I'm believing that I'll be a champion. I would love to grab the belt and hang on to it and, be the next GSP or be the next Silva. What's up, guys? It's Jon Jones. We're here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it's time for us to go get some training in.
Do you feel like you're a superstar yet?
No, I don't, man. I just once you start thinking about that type of stuff, that's when you get sidetracked and you start to get unfocused. I fight because I love it and it supports me and my family. But that whole superstar stuff, I can be a superstar when I retire.
And can you talk about your kids? You mentioned in the post-fight press conference, how much do they factor into this, and also the financial thing? You're young, you have a lot of time in the sport, you're becoming a star, if not a star already. So does that factor into this for you?
Yeah, well, my kids mean everything to me. They're why I do this.
A lot of people were surprised when they found out that you've been signing your name as Champ 2011. How did that come about?
I believe in the law of attraction, and I believe that that you can speak things into existence. And I believe that when you know where you're going and you know what you want, the universe has a way of stepping aside for you. And me signing my signature with Champion 2011 on it, it can't hurt me. It can't hurt me. It could only help me to believe it even more. So yeah. I mean, it works for me.
You've been saying something that I find to be very interesting, that the butterflies in your stomach are in formation.
Right.
I've never heard that before. I think it makes a lot of sense. What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
What I mean by it? Okay, so the butterflies in formation, basically it means when you have butterflies and you're feeling anxious and you have anxiety or nervous, that's when you're most powerful, I believe. And either you can, you're most powerful. So a lot of people, instead of homing this power and using it, they allow it to just consume them. There's another quote that says, a big challenge or big pressure is like a fire. It's like a raging fire. Either you can allow this fire to consume you and just take you over completely, or you can gain control of this fire and harness it, and you blow it right at your opponent like it's Dragon Ball Z style. All right, so that's what I'm trying to do. I try to get my emotions under control and use this adrenaline to my advantage.
Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. We're going to have a clean fight. Touch gloves, make it official.
Career. Nice knee. Another one. Left hand. Jones looking to tee off. Turn, Mike. He's wobbled. Makes it.
Jones to the body. And it is all over! Jon Jones!
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the future. He is the present and he is the future. And he might be the greatest talent that we've ever seen in the UFC.
I genuinely believe that I can do anything, and I'm not surprised that I'm still here, and I believe that I could possibly be here a decade from now.
It's amazing for a guy who I believe was a janitor, right? And you got into this because you needed to get some money for diapers, right?
Yeah, I was applying to. I was a bouncer actually, making $50 a night, and I was applying to be a janitor because I would have benefits.
Why? And how old were you?
I was about 19.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it was crazy, man. It was like one of the best years of my life, man, because I went from a very average thinking person, like just average 19-year-old,
yeah,
to getting. I don't like reading, so I literally got on all these TED Talks and on YouTube, and I just started YouTubing videos about self-belief and what does it mean to be confident, and what does it mean to be a winner, and how do you become a winner. And I would watch hours and hours of Tony Robbins and Les Brown and TED Talks. And I like taught myself how to believe in myself and how to think that I was greater than just this kid that was a dropout who, you know, never really had great grades, never really was the starter, never was the captain of a team. I was just always kind of this average person, and overnight I taught myself that I could be great and change myself forever, and I'm forever grateful. I'm never going back.
Wow. Did you have low self-confidence?
I didn't have low self-confidence, no, but I needed to have extraordinary confidence to do what I was getting ready to be doing. When I fought Stephan Bonner is when I really dug into the power of the mind and how important it is to look at yourself in a high regard and to believe that first you can. And yeah, that's when I started to fly. So with Rampage Jackson, I kept having these nightmares that I would get knocked out. And no matter how the fight played out, I would always get knocked out. And it was always within the first 30 seconds of the fight. So, you know, one scenario I'd run out, he'd run at me, swing a huge overhand right. The other, he would throw a right uppercut. And then another dream, it was a left hook. And I couldn't avoid this inevitable knockout that I was going to experience in the first round. And, you know, I'm a big fan of sports psychology, so I call those red zone thoughts, and I actually learned that from Rashad Evans. You know, when you have a negative thought, immediately cancel it with a positive thought. You know, instead of thinking of somebody beating your ass, you think of yourself exhausted, you're winning, fight's almost over. Sure. Just think something positive. And I just couldn't avoid these images and actual nightmares of Rampage Jackson knocking me out. So on fight night, I felt like I was going to get knocked out, and I felt like this was coming for me. I felt like energetically, like I was getting these signals from a higher power that, like, John, this is going to happen to you tonight. And I couldn't avoid it. So I just had this super deep prayer where I got down on my knees and I touched my body from my head to my toe for the first time. And I prayed this prayer asking God to just give me the supernatural, like, reaction abilities, speed, flexibility, awareness, and as I was praying this prayer and touching myself and rubbing myself and meaning every ounce of this, thinking my life is on the line, I noticed looking at myself that I was covered in feathers. I was covered in white feathers.
Like a hallucination?
It wasn't a hallucination, man. It was
real as fuck to you.
It was very real to me. It was very real to me. I could see myself covered in, like, there was like small feathers in between my fingers, and I was covered in feathers, and they came up like to my neck, and my face was still like normal, not in feathers, but my hands and feet were covered, and I felt like I was like this fighting thing that wasn't earthly, almost, and I like felt this surge of energy, power,
sure,
flexibility, mental acuity and awareness and sharpness that I had never experienced before. And I like jumped off my knees and like landed on both feet immediately, and I was just like, woo, woo, and I was just, Wendy's like, my coach was just looking at me like they could feel like, okay, he is pumped up, and Coach Winkle John's like, let's hit, and immediately I kicked the pad, and it was like, boom, and it was like, whoa, and like my kicks were lightning fast, and I didn't need to stretch anymore. I didn't need to warm up my lungs anymore. My kicks were going up high. I was jumping higher. I was kicking faster and higher. It was an unbelievable experience, and I actually was able to hang on to this feeling and this illusion of myself being in this alter ego all the way through the cage, all the way through my walk to the cage, and I felt like in that Rampage Jackson fight, I walked into that fight as this feather man for the first time, and my idea to crawl towards him was the only thing that had it happen in all my nightmares, right? Because in every fight I started on my feet. So something just said, get on your knees and crawl up to him. And then automatically the dream voids itself of him knocking you out immediately, right? So I did that, and I got to kind of, I don't know, fight in an alter ego kind of state, and it was super powerful. Now to this day,
I say that same kind of prayer over myself, and I believe that I transform into something.
I honestly believe that I was born to fight. I really believe it in my whole heart, you know, and some people think that's silly. But I think a lot of great athletes, people who are really good at what they do, um, it's more than just what they can do in the gym. It's something that starts way before they're known in the arenas. It's something that it's like an internal belief. And I honestly have convinced myself that I'm not designed to lose. I believe that if I study my opponent, I give these guys the utmost respect and attention they deserve. I don't think that I was designed to lose to any person. And when you have that level of self belief, it's hard for you to, you know, you just feel like you're being disrespectful to your path, to your destiny by allowing your human emotions to take over and showing fear and all that type of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I have the worst anxiety. I get very nervous, but I owe it to myself to not be afraid, and I owe it to my beliefs to just fucking get out there and do something rare and special. It's a gift, and I really believe it's a gift. I have a lot of hard work, but I believe it's a gift, and when you believe that you're gifted outside of just the hard work, then it's just like, bro, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna roll the dice. And so far, it's always worked out in my favor. And at this point in my life and career, I don't think it's coincidence anymore. It's something I really believe. I don't think I'm losing a fight.